Welcome to I Wrote That, a podcast where we bring authors and industry experts together to talk about all things books and make the journey to authorship just a little bit easier. My name is Larissa and I am the CEO of Next Page Publishing, a hybrid publishing house where we help entrepreneurs write books to grow their businesses. Now, I'm on a mission to help aspiring authors feel like they are in control of the publishing journey and that they are supported by a team of experts who genuinely want the best for them and their books. If you are in the very beginning of your journey, or maybe you have a manuscript that you're finished and you're not sure how to get it out into the world, I encourage you to reach out to us at nextpagepublishing.net. You can schedule your free discovery call and find out how our team of experts can make your journey to being a published author easy, smooth, and successful. Now, without further ado, let's get on to our next amazing guest and make your journey to authorship a little less complicated. Today, I'm really excited to have my guest, and at this point, my long-term friend on the show, Meg King. She came to me, oh my gosh, it was almost a year ago, probably, to start talking about bringing her book in, and we actually made a pivot back a year ago to something different, still in the author world, something to still put out there, but we're going to talk about what that was. I'm going to introduce Meg first. Her mission is really simple. She wants to support ambitious, visionary women in exposing their full potential, transforming their business models, and elevating customer service experiences to the exceptional levels. And I see this so thoroughly with Meg when she was willing to step outside what we could call traditional types of publishing, how to traditionally become an author and try something new. Her approach is rooted in the belief that every woman entrepreneur has a unique story and a vision, and aligning the strategies with individual goals for success, shaping the future of businesses and entrepreneurship for all women. So welcome to the show, Meg.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Larissa, for having me on. I'm honored to be your guest.
I know, it's so exciting. And we're well into season 4 at this point, which is just like unbelievable. So I'm going to give our listeners a backstory. Actually, why don't you give them the backstory of how we went from let's get a whole book out there to let's do a mini book. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I had this great idea that I wanted to write a book, and the book that I want to write is quite large. And I reached out to Larissa and found her on LinkedIn, which was it's a great place to find people, by the way. And we just really connected. And after your coaching, Larissa, I think what I really established was I wanted to get my story, part of my story, out sooner, quicker, faster, and not wait for me to complete my large book that I'm still working on. And I believe that it was really your coaching that kind of had the light bulb go off for me, like, oh, well, let me write a mini book, a little mini book that I could put out to the universe and to anybody who would really be interested in really discovering how to go from chaos to clarity and owning their power with more purpose.
Mm-hmm. And your project was really fun because I knew as your coach that we were staring down a really long road with your big book, and the large book has to happen. It's got to come out, but it was going to take us a while. And your business was at the spot where we needed momentum now. And so you and I got creative on what could that momentum look like? How could we do something that it bridges that gap between freebie and low ticket offer? And so what we ended up doing was taking one of your books, your mini books that you already had written, right? You already had it written by the time you came to me.
No, I had the idea. I had the thought process behind it, and I had pieces of it written out. I kind of knew the direction of what I wanted to go, but I really didn't have the full scope of how to put it all together, and felt pretty lost in that direction. And that was what was so powerful working with you and having you say, wait a minute, let's take a step back because I wanted it all to happen right
Mm-hmm.
away, right? I wanted it all to come out. And you were so gracious of saying, let's take a step back here. What is it that you really want to develop? And why are you writing this book? And where do you see it supporting the public? And I got it that where I want to go is support visionary women, and I want to help women of the future. So I'm talking about younger girls. My granddaughter was just visiting with me, and she's 9, and seeing her going through some trials and tribulations as 9-year-olds do with drama with their girlfriends, you know. But
Absolutely.
and how do I support that, but yet in the for the future, but have something currently right now
Mhm.
that could help people in the moment and help me build my email list, help me build my following, help me build my client list.
Because when you and I started working together a year ago, you were just transitioning out of a very different role and into the position of coach, right? Like you were on this new journey. And again, for you, it was how do we move quickly so that we can start thinking long term? When we start businesses, we do have to really think, okay, what is the thing I need to do to get clients right now? And then what is my long-term game? And now you're starting to move into the long-term game. So I'm going to totally reveal the strategy of what we use. So we took this idea of it was really just a part of the big book. We pulled it out and we created a mini ebook and we put that mini ebook on Amazon. We listed it for what, 3.99, something like that.
Yes, something like
Something like
that.
that. Yeah. And but the goal was
2.99.
never, yeah, 2.99 maybe. The goal was never to sell through Amazon. What we wanted to do was give Meg a freebie that had value assigned to it. So she could say, you could go to Amazon and buy this ebook for 2.99 or 3.99, or you can give me your email address and I'll give it to you for free. And when I asked you before the show, is it working? I'm so glad you said yes, it is.
It is. What's interesting is, every now and then I get it's not huge on Amazon, but I'll get a little check from Amazon. I'm like, oh, there's money in my account, right? That
Yeah,
feels fun.
it
And it
is.
feels good to know that people are like, oh, there it is. And I do talk about it and have the ability to, share that. But the real thing that's working is that sharing it with people that I meet, the different organizations that I speak at, the different teams that I work with, to just, hey, go to my website and you can download this for free. And what's really great for me is to see how many people have taken action and then to get the feedback. Oh my gosh, the feedback that I've gotten was like, this is really powerful. Do you have something more to say?
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love the
Yeah.
feedback, right? Because we don't want to be best-selling authors. That means lots of people bought our book, but that doesn't mean they liked it. We want to be five-star reads. So that is so cool.
Yes, yes. And one other thing that I wanted to add to it that I'm currently running one of my mastermind courses. And this is also a Chaos to Clarity Master Blueprint Mastermind. And I use this as one of my gifts to any of my people who come. And I've gotten such great feedback from the people who have been in my mastermind. And they too are like, when's the big book coming?
Yeah. There we go. Oh, it works so well, and it's such a strategy that's not being used. And I'm kind of over keeping it close to my heart, keeping it as my little industry secret because it is something that can work really, really well for a lot of people. That is fast action and doesn't require you to write the whole book right now. You can do this in the next like 30 days. You can have this. Now, I will say, Meg, you were really, really smart and you invested in our design and our editing services, so it looks fabulous. It reads flawlessly. It's got wonderful invitations to you and your circle. Like it's such a good book that it doesn't really it like is awesome, but it doesn't surprise me that people are like, this is good. Like I want more. So you serve women and you serve women powerfully after a very different career in the salon business, which is so cool. How did you get into this line of work? Like, I know you said your granddaughter is a huge inspiration for you, but what drove you to make this transition into full-time coach?
Well, I want to say that I've been a coach all my life. I think about back in school, high school, and everything, and everybody came to me. I was the problem solver for everybody. And then I landed into the salon and spa industry, and then had my own salon for 22 years. And in that industry, I coached my team, I mentored them, my clients. It's very intimate. I was in the spa side. So in that intimate setting where you're working with people in very vulnerable situations, we end up coaching people and supporting them. So I did that then too. And what I learned is that I had a coach for my spa, and I really fell in love with that end of the business. And so when I closed my business, I made a life decision. My husband passed and things had changed, and I made a strategic decision for my life to close my salon and spa. At that point, I said, this is really what I want to do. I want to be this full time. So I went into this arena of coaching and working with other salon and spa owners, but I also took a year of my life off from working and went through life coaching training and such. And I'm constantly working on my own self-development. And I bring that to the table to the people that I work with. So my transition was really from the salon and spa industry into the realm of just women visionaries and entrepreneurs, and not so niched in just the salon and spa industry. I see that there is such a strong need for women who are starting businesses, women who have already been established in business, to have somebody come along the side of them and really tease out some of the things that they can't, the blind spots, right? We all have the blind spots. And I use the analogy kind of a garden in my little mini book, that, when our gardens get so full and now the weeds start to come in and choke out and we can't find our way around it, we actually have to step back, and it takes somebody else. A lot of the times we cannot do this thing called business by ourselves. I don't care what anybody says. You
Yeah,
just can't
I
do this thing called business
absolutely
by
agree.
yourself. And so to have somebody come along and say, wait, oh, that's a weed. No, that's really a beautiful, beautiful plant that we want to nurture along and see how it grows into profitability, into freedom, into more of what it is that you want in life and in business.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the analogy that I use in supporting people. But I've been a full-time coach for decades,
Hmm.
decades, and now it's just the transitioning out of the salon and spa industry.
Yeah, I kind of want, I have two thoughts, train of thoughts that I want to chase there. Let's see how long I can hold on to the second one while I chase the first one. The first one is it's so funny that I learned from about life coaching from my hairdresser. Like they are pseudo hairdressers, nail techs, estheticians, all these people where you sit and you have nothing else to do but talk about your life. It feels so vulnerable, and sometimes it's better than therapy. So that's bang on. I absolutely agree with that. The second one, the garden analogy. I know when I was editing your book and I kept saying, keep it going, like keep the garden analogy, because we all get it. Even if you're not a gardener, if you are a notorious plant murderer, you still understand the idea of it, right? Like we get it. And the revelation I had honestly not that long ago, Meg, and it brought me back to your book, was that it's not even just about the weeds that we need to pull back. And I think you said it before we started recording, was there's so many things you want to do. There's so many flowers you want to grow. But when we sow our garden and it starts to bloom, we have to even pull some flowers because we want to make room for the ones that we want to get really big. And I see that so much in entrepreneurship and in the way you're coaching women of, and even in yourself, you said it, you're like, I have all these things I want to do, but I've got two I need to chase. Right. And that I see that in your coaching style of like, yes, we have all these things, shiny object syndrome, flowers, whatever you want to call them. But sometimes I have a list of six. You can't see it on my wall. And they're written on the back of the most rough piece of paper because I was like, you know what? I just need to write them down. That's my six for the year. Those are my six flowers.
That's awesome. I think for women particularly, we are the better multitaskers. That is science. It's actually a true science that if they put a man in a room with a baby, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and or whatever kind of sandwich to make, and the phone is ringing, and then they've got something in the oven cooking, they can't manage all of that at one time. And women can. So there is just an innate difference, like a biological difference in how we can manage that. But at the same time, what I see, and I see it for myself, I saw it in my mother, that we more and more and more, we don't know when to say no. We don't know, maybe it's not even the right terminology to use, that we don't know. We feel compelled to say yes to everything. We feel compelled to take on everything. And as that nurturing part of us, we want to make everything nice and better and pretty, and nobody should hurt, right? It's an interesting thing, but because we're like that and we wear our cape, I talk about our cape all the time. My cape has holes in it, but I've learned a lot of lessons in mending it. But there's times I have to take my cape off as well. And I think women have a really hard time discerning that. So I really love to come along again, the side of women, and saying, wait a minute, I see your cape.
And I see the holes that you're pretending aren't there. Right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a really quick break for our commercial and then we're going to come back and I'm going to share a story of how if you let me take you there, Meg, how aging is like the best thing because you have wisdom that I as a young woman and most young women do not have and why I think that we should strongly lean into the lessons that you're trying to drill into our younger heads. Attention, all aspiring authors. Are you ready to turn your book dreams into reality? Look no further than Author Allies, your ultimate companion on the journey to becoming a published author. Picture this, a membership site that offers structure, accountability, skill development, and unwavering support to bring your book ideas to life. That's exactly what Author Allies provides. Dive into weekly writing workshops where you can focus on your goals and stay motivated. Need expert advice? Our monthly Ask the Expert sessions connect you directly with industry professionals for valuable insights. Engage with fellow members through our Beta Reader Switch program, perfect for refining your manuscript before publication. Get access to a list of our verified resources so that when it's time to edit, design, and publish your book, you know where to turn. You can also enhance your craft with our writing training modules. Complete the exercises designed to elevate your skills and participate in the challenges. And as an added bonus, you can enjoy exclusive discounts on our future programs to help you streamline your publishing services. And if you're looking for a little bit more personalized advice, you will have access as a member to our one-on-one coaches to provide tailored support from our experienced professionals. Your literary dreams are within reach within our community of like-minded authors and expert guidance. Visit nextpagepublishing.net to join the membership and create a community around you and your book that guarantees your success. Okay, we are back with Meg King, who is our go-to coach for women and going to teach us how to stop being multitaskers to the level that we are. And we were just talking about how women, we have this tendency to keep saying yes. And I'm learning that often I do want to say yes because I want to learn to please other people, but I also want to prove to myself that I can. Well, if I could handle 6, why can't I handle 7? And if I can handle 7, why can't I handle 8? And it just keeps going, right? 7 years ago, I was pregnant with my daughter. I was about 6 months pregnant with her. And I went on a hike with my husband's family. And it was straight up a mountain, like straight up. And yes, I was athletic. I was in good shape. I was all this, but I was also 6.5 months pregnant. Like, girl, slow down. And I had to be at the front of the line. I had to be first. I had to be the one storming up that hill, holding back my breath, pretending I wasn't dying, pretending I didn't have to pee every 15 minutes and get my butt up that mountain because I had to be first. I had to prove that I could. I went for a walk yesterday. It's almost exactly 7 years later to the day. And I have a thing with the number seven. If maybe one day I'll actually release my book that explains my thing with the seven. But I have this belief that every 7 years we are an entirely different person from who we are. I went for a walk yesterday by myself and I was able to, I was having a hard time breathing. And I was like, old me would have pushed through. Just get over it. Go. It's uncomfortable. That's what working out's supposed to be. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. I was on a hike. And instead, I was like, no, why can't I slow down? Why can't I do it so that it feels comfortable? There's no one else out here. I'm not competing with anyone. And even if I was, I know I would have asked them to match my pace because it hurts me. I don't want to go at that pace. I want to go slower. And honestly, I ended up dancing in the woods like a crazy person. I was jumping, I was smelling the flowers. Like the experience is so different. And what you bring to Meg people is this years of experience of trying to help women see for themselves why we don't have to go through our entire lives competing with ourselves or with others, why we can slow down, why we can say no. That's what I love about what you do.
Thank you. You know, Larissa, I'm listening to your story and I'm like, oh, yep, that's me. Oh, yep, that's
Hmm.
me. Always up at the front. I'm going to be the one. And it's really, I love what you said because you said it's competing against yourself.
Hmm.
And that's exactly what we do is we truly do compete against ourselves. I'm learning more and more about slowing down. I'm going to be 64. And as you know, I've had knee surgery. It went bad. I had a second knee replacement surgery that has left me with several areas of my leg, not just my knee, that don't function well and that I'm going through a lot of physical therapy. It has been years. I have learned that I have to slow my roll down even more. So yes, there's wisdom in our age and all of the things that we go through. And like you have your top six for the year. I have my top 25 for my book, right? Actually, there's probably 45 up there now. And you know, what when I look at that and I think about some of the stories that I could share about who I was and who I am now and the lessons that I have learned, I think about those stories and I'm just bursting to share with them
Mhm.
because I think that there is just this piece that we as women, again, just we need to support one another. We need to hear from somebody who's been there, done that. I still need to hear from somebody who's been there, done that in dealing with all of my medical issues. I had to go through therapy because I can't do the things that I used to do. I can barely walk around the block at this point.
Mhm.
And so what I learned as another area of, okay, slow down is ambiguous loss. I didn't lose my leg, but I've lost parts of my life.
Mhm.
So I have to slow it down to recreate. And I get the opportunity. So instead of saying, woe is me, because I could be victim, like, but that's not who I am.
Mhm.
I really never go into victim, but we have it. We all have our victim in us that comes out. But now I get the opportunity to recreate how I can live and enjoy life.
Mhm.
And it's not always about being first. And it's not always about going the fastest and pushing through it, feeling exhausted at the end, but saying, yeah, I
I
did it.
did it.
Did it.
That really hurt. Jeez. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I don't have any trophies.
Yeah.
I don't have any trophies from that.
Yeah. But I want to go again today. And if I had pushed and if I had gone hard, I would have burnt out. I wouldn't been able to go back for a week because it hurt, it physically hurt, right? And what I love about what you're talking about as well, I'm gonna chase this and then we're gonna wrap up here. But There are so many phases in our life where we lose what we had. Our 20s moving into our 30s, our young adult moving into parenthood, our parenthood moving into parents of teens. There's so many opportunities for the life as we know it to suffer and die, to lose that leg, as you were saying. Even if the leg itself isn't gone, the teenager's still in your house, but now they hate you and it doesn't feel the same, right? It's different. It's different. And what you do is you come in and you coach these women, regardless of the stage that they're in, on how to choose to recreate. And I think that's what's so powerful about your book. I think that's so powerful about the book that's coming. And I want to hear from you when that book is coming. No, I'm asking that question. So brace yourself. That question's coming. But what you
Oh,
do
no.
with yeah, I know you don't know. I know it's a trick question. It's a totally a trap, but I'm going to do it anyways. The what you do with women, the journey that you take them on through written, through interviews and things like that. And we didn't actually talk about the interview strategy. We got so off on this track, which I think is so wonderful because you're doing amazing work.
Thank you. Yes, the interview strategy is I really want to interview women. I write newsletters, and I have an arm's length fill to publish. I'll put it that way. But I want to follow up with women who have experienced certain things that I write about and actually do live interviews with them to share their story so that more and more people can have their voice heard and feel valued. That's all, that's what we want,
Mhm.
to feel valued and to be heard.
And
That's
seen, right?
and
And
seen, yes,
connected
and
with and
seen.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So I was gonna, this is my another hot tidbit, and then we are gonna close out because unfortunately we can't go forever in these, although you and I could. Um, I'll tell you what my strategy is. So I go live every 2 weeks. Usually it's by myself, but sometimes I do bring a guest on. And then I take those lives and I have a program called Descript, and I take the audio file or the video file and I get the transcript out of it. Put that transcript into ChatGPT, ask it, hey, can you create me a newsletter? Can you create me a blog? And I pump that out. I get quotes, I get social media graphics, all of that. But honestly, it's about 15 minutes of going live or a 15-minute interview, and then another 15 minutes to do all of it, and then it's done. So I know you said you have this arm's length and you don't have time to do all these things, but technology is like incredible right now for making our lives easier to reuse the same content. So honestly, one live gets me about a month's worth of content. And it invites people in different ways because not everybody wants to come to our lives. Not everybody wants to read our newsletters on the other side, right? So we can connect with two different audiences.
I love it.
Yeah, that's my hot Larissa take for the day of like just do pick one. So even if you took like just did a live interview and then asked it to create your newsletters, it's we all have to admit that it's not as authentic as writing them out ourselves. You will lose a little bit of your voice, but if you're looking to cross over multiple avenues of media, that is a great way to do it quickly.
Yes. I actually have experienced some of that, but I think I need to go back and revisit how best to utilize it once it's created. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I luckily have a Sam that I'm like, hey, Sam, can you make this into graphics and stuff? And she's like, yeah, no problem. So if not everybody has a Sam, I get that it can still be cumbersome. I even just the live to a blog post has been great for me because that's relatively easy. And again, it fills two media streams for me. So, okay, Meg, I'm going to ask you two questions because I promised I would. When is your book coming out? When can we think about pre-ordering it?
Oh my goodness, Larissa. I would love to say the middle of 2025. It's if I can make it happen sooner, quicker, faster, and then I will do that. And I need more support from you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm always holding space for you. There is always a space for Meg in my program. So we're gonna hold space for that. When the time is right, we will get that book out. So middle of 2025. You heard it here, folks. Middle of 2025. Second question I have is because you are an author, we have published an ebook on Amazon for you. What advice do you have for aspiring authors?
Have fun,
Good
really
one.
have fun. Don't take it so serious that I know that I can get stuck into the minutia of perfection. And but working with you, first of all, I think really helps and had helped me with that particular project, really relax and have fun with it. And I couldn't wait to get back to work on it. And I couldn't wait to get your feedback and to see what your team had helped me with. It was amazing. And just have fun, carve time out. You
Mm-hmm.
know, time is our most valuable resource, but it's the one thing that we never seem to have enough of when
Mm-hmm.
we want to do the things that we say we want to do, but feel maybe a little intimidated by,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah,
So,
time is the one best costume for fear. It absolutely is. That thing that's dressed up like a clock, but is actually scarce. You're scared. Scarcity mindset, fear mindset, whatever's getting in your way. It usually comes up as time. Absolutely. That's great advice. I don't think I've had very many people say have fun on that one. They give practical, but that's so true because what happens when you have fun with writing is that you cannot wait to get back to it. Like you said, it doesn't feel like a chore. You really want to sit down and write, and you're mad when you can't. And that is the perfect situation for me as a coach as a publisher to have someone like, oh, I didn't get to write. I'm so disappointed.
right. Well,
Good.
the thing about having the fun place is it's also about the brain, right? Your creativity side of your brain is so much more open and relaxed when you're in that state of mind to have fun versus feeling like, oh, I got to sit down and do this.
hmm
So the
And
fun,
your writing feels that. Your writing
yeah,
feels that, and your audience feels that. I can tell when an author has slapped something together and they haven't put their full heart and soul into it. It doesn't come through in the stories, it doesn't come through in the emotion side of it. It doesn't even really come through in the lessons because it feels like I'm reading from a robot in a lot
yeah,
of cases. A grudgeful robot. I don't really want to be here. You don't really want to be here. Why are we even here? That's the vibe you get, right? Versus the
yeah,
people that come in with fun, I literally laugh at their work. And I know that they laughed while they wrote it, or I know that they cried while they wrote it, right? I
yes.
know that they felt while they were writing. You can feel it.
Oh, yes. When I write about my mother, the tears.
The tears. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And your readers pick up on that vulnerability, and it's incredible the connections we can get out of it. Thank
Yes.
you so much, Meg. This was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of I Wrote That. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to our show so you don't miss any of our upcoming guests. And if this has led you to some inspiration to want to get started on your own authorship journey, whether you just have an idea or you have a manuscript that you're ready to publish, reach out to us at nextpagepublishing.net and we will match you up with our team of experts to make the journey simple, easy, and smooth.